What's up, y'all? I'm back here with another video. We got some interesting stuff to watch today, so let's get straight to it. If you're new, please subscribe. Make sure you like this video. And like I said, let's get straight to it.
Do you even understand what's going on right now? Do you understand that we have a new moon on August 4th, the same day that Mercury goes retrograde? And then 4 days later, we have the Lionsgate portal. Do you know what this means?
I don't think anybody really knows what this means. But the one thing I find extremely interesting is how it is called the Lion's Gate portal. Because apparently to astrologers, again, I'm not telling you I believe in this, just stick around for the rest of the video to hear my opinion, but apparently to these astrologers, the Lion's Gate portal 88 is an opening of a galactic gate that delivers high frequency energy into our beings, allowing us to rebirth our spirit energy and spirit energy of Mother Earth. Going on further, Sirius is one of the brightest stars in the sky and is known as our spiritual sun. Stick with me here because I find it really interesting how this is called the Lion's Gate and it involves Sirius, known as the spiritual sun. What is Jesus? Oh yeah, the Son of God. While our earthly sun illuminates our physical world, which is an illusion, our spiritual sun illuminates the truth of our timeless soul. The ancients were very in tune with the star Sirius, as they believed it was the gateway to heaven. Remember this, in the home of higher vibrational beings. They believed the energy of Sirius carried highly advanced wisdom that we could tap into and utilize whenever Sirius was strong in the sky. Now, why is it called the Lion's Gate, you may ask? Well, the rising of Sirius, which ancient astrologers celebrated as the rebirth of spirit, happens to occur right in the heart of Leo season, which is ruled by the lion. Now, I can already see the comments now from fellow brothers and sisters. What are you doing? This is astrology. This is demonic. Why are you even looking at this? Well, the only reason why I'm talking about it is because I came across that video of this woman talking about this Lion's Gate portal and how people are going to go into a higher vibration because of this Lion's Gate portal. But what made me really sit here and think or contemplate about the fact that Jesus is the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David. He's also known as the way, the truth, the life, or he is the door. In Revelation chapter 4, we see John, who sees a door standing open in heaven, and then he is caught up immediately in the spirit, almost like he went through some type of portal into the spiritual realm, going into heaven. So I'm over here wondering, does this Lion's Gate portal have anything to do with the possible rapture of the church? I don't know, just stay with me here. I'm going to rant a little bit. So we know the times that we live in are biblical. End time prophecy is unfolding in front of our eyes. Wars and rumors of wars, armies are surrounding Israel. We see the love of many growing cold. We see the rise of technology and AI. We see financial crisis. We see the ability of a one world system, one world currency, one world government. We see the technology for the mark of the beast. We see earthquakes in diverse places. We see weather events going crazy globally. We see many falling away from the faith and believing in doctrines of demons. We are living in the Laodicean age of the lukewarm church. We are seeing the deception of the left-right paradigm and individuals going into this world system believing in a politician or a political party that's going to save them instead of trusting and believing in Jesus. We also have this idea that we are at the last 6,000 years of mankind. We are about to go into the 7,000th year, which is the seventh day of the Lord. So we have all of this going on, and then now we have these astrologers talking about this Lion's Gate portal that is going to open up for manifestation to come forth, for a higher frequency for us to channel and go through this portal. And this also ties into the alien deception, because you have the occult, these individuals who channel these higher ascended beings who have told these occult practitioners, or whoever you want to call them, that they are going to witness some type of an event where people will be taken, how the world is going to shift into a higher frequency, and some people will not make it because they are holding back humanity, and those individuals are the Christians. And on top of all of this, we have the 9th of Av happening on August 12th and 13th, which is historically a really bad day for the Jewish people, and we know right now how they are not looking very good with armies surrounding them, Russia talking about coming and helping Iran, Turkey getting involved, which is the Gog and Magog war of Ezekiel 36 and 38. Now you may be asking, what has happened on the 9th of Av historically? Well, the first temple was destroyed on the 9th of Av. The second temple was also destroyed on the 9th of Av. It makes you wonder, will the third temple, us being the church, be destroyed and taken to heaven, possibly through the lion's gate, the doorway opening up to heaven? I don't know. That's all speculation, guys. Again, I am not date setting here. I am just relaying information that I'm receiving, and I'm kind of just curious, you know? Because I always go back to the fact that the Magi knew when Jesus was born by looking to the stars. So then if they knew the first coming, wouldn't there be a possibility of seeing his second coming? And that these astrologers, they don't even know what they're doing. They have no idea, right? Because they are operating off of the Antichrist spirit, but they have some truth, but they don't have the full truth. They don't have the full revelation. So I just find it interesting, you know? Again, this is all just speculation, my personal opinion, me just venting, ranting with my crazy conspiracy theories, you know? But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting month of August. I have my eyes focused upon the Lord, allowing this to cause urgency to share the gospel, to love on others, and to encourage you guys out there, okay? Keep your eyes set on Jesus, focus on his word. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, reading his word, pray without ceasing, and love on others. Get the gospel out, okay? Because we do not know when our last day is here, and we can feel the rapture of the church. And I know, I get it, that people who do not believe in the pre-tribulation rapture, that's fine. It's all right. I love you. I'll give you a big kiss. I'll give you a big hug, and I'll explain it to you on the way up. But for those who do believe, be encouraged out there. Keep your eyes focused upon the Lord. Look up, for our redemption draws near. Love you guys all so much. God bless, and remember, the just shall live by faith.
Here's why everything you learn in school is a lie.
1920 is when everything pretty much changed. They started changing every single thing. They started removing
Listen
certain parts of
closely.
the history. They started rewriting the history. 1920s is about that time. Educational system started changing everything. Rockefeller educational system. So if you find books, you want to find books before 1920s. Because if you don't find books before 1920s, you're usually being told a bunch of nonsense. And you look at a lot of the free energy books too, and everything related to the ether. That's before 1920s. The ether was removed from the periodic table after 1908. Every book you look into talks about ether and terrestrial magnetism and all of these things. 1908, that was removed off the periodic table.
Wonder why.
And that was removed so that people would not believe in the ether. They would think it's woo-woo. They would think it's pseudoscience. Those are all terms of the Rockefeller educational system. Coming up with terms to debunk the truth and debunk what we were once connected to. Then when you get rid of ether, you get rid of everything related to the fifth element and the quantum. You get rid of all of that. And then you make up a whole new narrative.
And that's
you
why.
remove all that so that when you can't explain something, you just say, I don't know what it is.
I see, like, when Carl Winslow, we was at the party.
What?
And, you know, we just chilling and shit like that. And me.
He messed up my childhood when he told me that.
Everybody know me, right?
Right.
Charles Winslow? Carl Winslow. To me, it looked like Diddy done dipped in a lot.
I'm a goofy, I'm funny and stuff like that. So I hear just wearing out some shit. I'm like, huh? Like hearing that, I'm like, on 6-0, who's wearing this bitch out?
Right.
Nigga, I kick in the door, poof, kick in the door. I seen Carl Winslow put his
Yeah, that's
head
the
up
father.
on
Ain't that the
6-0,
father from
like,
from Family Matters?
yeah.
No way.
The dad. The dad.
Oh, the dad.
The
Yeah.
dad.
I swear to God, dead homies, neighborhood crib. So when I see,
Neighborhood Crip.
I seen that,
Man,
and then
man.
So who was piping Carl? Diddy?
yeah, Diddy was. So when I seen that, cuz right, Diddy came back and he was telling me, he was like, it's nothing more enjoyable than having a man do something for some money. I'm like, cuz that shit crazy.
Oh, nah.
Did he like that old booty?
I have some exciting new footage for you that was literally captured today, August 21st, 2024. And shout out to Kim for sending this to my attention. So a group of locals in the Philippines recorded what they believe to be not one, but two giants. Now, as they're panning to these entities and recording them, there's something off about them. Some are claiming that they're giants, others are claiming aliens. Take a look at their forms because they look different. Could this truly be two extraterrestrials, or is this something else? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
Oh, that's heck far away. I thought it was right there. Even if those were person. I only see one. Or alien. There's one. And the other one's on the other side. On a whole different mountain. Or rock, or whatever you want to call these. It's on a beach. If those are aliens, and they're both sitting on different sides, it could be like possibly like that they're protecting something. That's crazy. Big. Is that two?
And if you're
That's
not
it.
Christ-like, you're not Christian.
I don't even know if Christ really existed. But guess what I know?
That's obvious.
I know that the black man and woman are the original people on earth. I can show you that. I can pull up a white folks to show you that. I don't know if Christ ever existed. But I know he's one of the greatest characters in the Bible. He's one of the greatest characters I ever wrote about. So I don't care what color you make him in your head. What I'm saying is if your master can worship that same Christ and imprison you, and the last person he saved on this earth was a prisoner, a self-confessed thief, being crucified by the state next to him. Why ain't black people in mass working in prisons? Huh? If you're a Christian, if you're a true Christian, because the church is not what Christ is. Christ is with the lepers. He's with the sick. I read it. My grandma made me read it. From the time I was 5, Bible camp and all that. Then I went to Morehouse, where I studied religion and philosophy. And then I was in the mosque for 12 years. And I I actually took my shahada and I was in the mosque. And I remember when I left, I told my mom, I can't do this no more. He said, why? I said, because it all leads you back to a white man in a dress.
You told your mom that?
Huh? I told my mom that. I had to go. I loved him. I love what he taught me. I love what I learned. But it all led me back to some lighter figure in a dress. Some old long white goddamn dress. So somebody asked me what I said, what are you? I said, I'm whatever African was the day before the first Christian or Muslim stepped their foot. That's what I am. Because there was a whole Muslim slave trade down the other coast of Africa we don't talk about. We don't talk about how them folks got light skin and fat skin in North Sudan versus South Sudan. We don't talk about how Arab speakers came across. We proud to be Moors, but still, the religion was pushed on you and forced on you.
I want to tell you guys a very weird story. This is Dr. Adam. He runs a YouTube channel called In Search of the Tribe. He is right now miles away from civilization, looking for a lost tribe in the hills of California. Now, one day, this man set up a whole bunch of trail cams, miles away from civilization, in the mountains, in the hills of California, in search of this tribe. I don't know the name of the tribe. I'm very vague on exactly what he is searching or looking for, but he comes across something. He goes to go get his trail cams, and he cannot find one of them. Eventually he does, and sifts through hours upon hours of footage until he comes across one thing. I'm about to show you what Mr. Adams discovered.
Show me.
Warning, I cannot confirm nor deny if this is real, but what I will tell you that this man is praised for being one of the legit people on YouTube, and he isn't one who makes fake videos. So warning, what you're about to see may disturb you and may have you contemplating,
man, show me.
Are we alone? And what the fuck is in those woods?
Here's the footage.
What the hell?
The sounds of footsteps can be heard in the darkness near the trail cam, and then, slowly, a horrifying figure emerges from the darkness and heads right for the trail cam. Whoever or whatever this is then grabs the camera and appears to make off with it. After watching this quote, pretty unsettling imagery and activity, Dr. Adam says that he is a little nervous about going back down to investigate, and I wonder why.
What the fuck is that?
If y'all ever watch Mountain People, it's a movie. I think that's what it's called. Or Mountain People, or it's like, it's either that, called The Mountain People, or it's The Hills with Eyes. One of the two. It might be both. That's probably what he is. Y'all don't know. We don't know what's out there for real. There could be a lot of things, a lot of different people out there that we don't know none
that. Like, what is that? Now, I'm gonna say when I watched this last night, I immediately want to share this with y'all to hear what maybe some of my followers would say. But I believe this, and I'm gonna keep it real. I like how people defended the doctor, saying he's legit because, you know, he doesn't put up things like this. This is one of the strangest videos he's ever put up, and he is a man based upon his own research and takes his word very seriously. But going through some people's comments, I don't scare easily, but this was terrifying. And he, like I said, the doctor said, I'm a little nervous about going back down to investigate. This was in April of this year. So what did Dr. Adams come across? Did he find the tribe he's looking for? Are they cannibals?
Probably.
Who the fuck are they alien? I don't know. All I know is that
could be a
is
person
not
with a
fucking
mask.
normal. And I don't know what the fuck that is.
Never know.
You guys will check this video out. As of tomorrow is my good friend. He's been sending me videos for about a year now. Now they take this phone and they send it to what's called space, right? And you're not going to believe what you see. You're going to see the sun transition into something else completely different, right? And we're just going to zoom in on over here, y'all, so you can see what is going on. Now you can clearly see at the bottom it's daytime. It's daytime on Earth. But when the sun transition, is that the red and blue Kachina? Is that the red and blue Kachina? When the sun is going through this transition over here, y'all, it goes to this little orb that they're potentially calling the moon. But that doesn't make any sense because right now, even in this year, we're seeing the moon out at the same time as the sun. So can anybody let us know what this is? Check it out.
I feel like when I was young, I always seen the moon out at the same time, not just now. People are just
look
not
at that.
realizing.
So that's the balloon that the phone is attached to. But check this out. See the red and blue Kachina? Y'all see that? Look at that. You can literally come see it over here. You can see how it literally transitioned. But it was daytime on Earth, right? And now it's nighttime, which doesn't make sense to me because the sun usually goes down, right? Goes down. And then you see it's nighttime. But look at that.
Trippy.
Look at that. So I know you guys seen that video. What do you guys think it is? Like, what is that? It can't be the moon because, again, we're seeing the moon out the same time the sun is out. But then you look down, the sky is completely dark again. And in the book of Enoch, it tells you how the sun goes through portals. And the sun itself is a portal. We've talked about that before. But let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all.
Do you guys think we have an artificial sun and moon? What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments, because this is beyond me.
I'm still out here untouched, so nothing really popping. But yeah, man, I'm getting a lot of crazy DMs. The DMs have been a war zone lately.
Back in 2011, Kathy was spotted in Vegas with Jay-Z, Diddy, and some other people, but Beyonce was nowhere around, and they were in a relationship at the time. I also threatened Jay-Z and told Jay-Z, well, if you don't give me said amount of money, I'm going to tell the world that we are messing around, and I'm going to announce it. Now, Jay-Z could not have this because Beyonce was pregnant with Blue Ivy at the time.
Perhaps the saddest thing in this entire story is that Kathy White was a real person with a real family, friends, and a career, and what seemed like a bright future ahead of her. She was clearly an intelligent and confident young woman who had graduated from an esteemed university and created a seemingly successful life for herself in the world of entertainment in Los Angeles, where most people attempting the same thing will likely fail. She made it, as well as later also seemingly succeeding in New York. Yet all that seems to be left of her now is the rumor of her being Jay-Z's alleged mistress.
So it looks like those old rumors about Jay-Z's alleged mistress Kathy White and her mysterious death are back in the limelight. And this time, popular YouTuber Trap Lore Ross has decided to dig deep into the story, uncovering some seriously chilling details. But here's the real kicker. Word on the street is that Trap Lore might have put himself in hot water by diving into Kathy White's story. Fans are seriously on edge, worried that Jay-Z might pull some strings, not necessarily to come after Trap Lore physically, but maybe to take down his channel. On the flip side, some folks are speculating that Trap Lore's bold move could mean something major is about to come out about Jay-Z this year. So what exactly did Trap Lore Ross uncover about Kathy White's death, and is he really getting threats now? Let's find out.
It's just like a lot of internet haters. At the same time, like, I do move cautiously. I don't do anything dumb that I would think would catch me slipping. From prison, by promising to hire him to his clothing brand Rockaware for a steady employment, might have been the person that had something to do with Kathy's death, with one article explaining how Jay-Z had contacted the judge to get Jones out of a 16-year prison sentence 37 months early with a promise of a 50,000-year job at Jay-Z's company. Jasper, on the other hand, was only getting started and would soon come out with yet another post, this time doubling down on the claim that the mainstream media was preparing to take Jay-Z down, as well as discussing another long-held rumor that Jay-Z had already had a child with a woman from the Caribbean who he had paid to stay silent. He would also provide a quote from the tabloid who had contacted him, with the journalist allegedly telling him that all of Kathy's friends, except Claudia, had indeed admitted that she had been in a relationship with Jay-Z, with the quote then ending with a casual question that you wouldn't expect to see in professional journalism: "Jackie, do you know if Jay practices Satanism?" The foul play angle was also gaining more popularity amongst the users of forums like the Lipstick Alley, with salacious posts suggesting that the aneurysm was used as a cover for the real cause of death, and a wild claim that Kathy had the same ring as Beyonce and that Jay-Z had bought a condo in New York City for a mystery woman, while other posters had their cake and ate it too, claiming that aneurysm-induced deaths have been used to cover up murders for years, also saying that Jay-Z is way too soft to be catching bodies. At this point, only days after Kathy's untimely death, the writing was already on the wall, with the internet clearly becoming increasingly convinced there had been foul play and somehow Jay-Z had been involved. But interestingly, if Kathy's old online obituary, that's still accessible via the Wayback Machine is to be believed, even an investigative journalist from the New York Post will try to get in contact with her family in the weeks following her death. Although this might just as well have been an online sleuth trying to fish more information whilst pretending to be an actual journalist, nevertheless, despite Jasper's claims that a major tabloid was looking into Kathy and Jay's relationship and were about to go public in a major way, with even a possible New York Post journalist attempting to get in contact with Kathy's family to look into the death, in the months and years following her passing, no major articles would ever come out, and the story would only stay alive in the gossip and conspiracy forums in the blogosphere. At times, this story has gained more momentum, like in 2016 when Kanye West would do the infamous speech on stage in Sacramento where he would claim that Jay-Z had killers. The rumors were eventually also dug up by content creators on platforms like YouTube and TikTok coming into the late 2010s and early 2020s. However, in late 2023, the case would suddenly get a huge new boost, as another hip-hop mogul ended up getting in hot water, with the implication being that if he went down, he'd be taking Jay-Z with him.
Crazy.
As mentioned at the beginning of the video, as P. Diddy's dark escapades begun truly hitting the internet with force in late 2023, following the explosive lawsuit by his ex Cassie, these rumors and allegations would eventually begin to affect also those people close to him, particularly Jay-Z. One of the people going hardest against Jay-Z was none other than one of his toughest competitors during the 2000s and one of the hardest trolls to appear from New York's rap scene, 50 Cent, who would begin to post on social media following Diddy's downfall about how Jay-Z was nowhere to be found when his supposed friend needed support, with 50 Cent clowning Jay-Z with a post showing Jay-Z's picture as a missing poster on a milk carton and a caption saying, "Diddy says Jay isn't answering his phone." And as another post showing an unflattering picture of Jay-Z's iconic lips, along with a caption saying Jay is in hibernation. He's not coming out the house until the situation with Diddy blows over, as well as seemingly referencing the cancellation of Jay-Z's infamous Rock Nation brunch, with perhaps the subliminal implication being that Jay-Z was also afraid of his own skeletons coming out next. Meanwhile, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, the singer Jaguar Wright, who used to work with Jay-Z for a moment as a backup singer in the 2000s, was now all over the internet attacking Jay. with her undeniably entertaining interviews, where she would claim to expose all kinds of dark secrets about her former colleagues, which ultimately gained millions of views.
You want to know what makes Diddy being publicly shamed like this so left?
What's that?
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler.
The diddler.
And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it.
So, there's been so many people on the internet trying to figure out where you are. They're watching you. They're doing all types of stuff trying to figure you out.
You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet.
I knit myself one of them before. Them
That's
hurt.
nothing.
So are you trying to say like Jay-Z put hands on you?
I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me, and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy. And they're gonna be crazy. It's gonna be the women that get them in the end.
So you say that
Jay-Z! And I think it's time for him to start speaking up about his very good friend. Just 9 months ago, you were singing his praises. All that he's done for the culture. And how you gotta be crazy like Diddy to make it. You didn't want to sit next to him at the Grammys. Told everybody that he had cooties. And canceled the Rock Nation brunch. Which is your favorite event. Because that's how you line up who you gonna move around next year. Like y'all did with Clarence Avon. Come get you.
And be the parties. Them famous parties. Don't
And
go
I
to that
told
all-white
you I
party.
would.
No, y'all heard of
I'm gonna
that.
keep my word. And you're gonna pay me in full.
In one such interview with the Real Life Productions channel, Wright would even go on to claim that Kathy had been murdered by a woman and that Diddy had a video of the murder.
Last question. I asked you to do this earlier, but I just want you to do it even more, go detailed. What do you predict will happen next in the future? You know, it's like you see it before it happens.
Kathy White's true killer is going to be unveiled. And it's not a man. And that woman died screaming. Show him the tape, Diddy. You got it. That might buy you a little time. We should probably stop looking for plastic surgeons. Looking for a new life, new face.
Should be talking
But
that
Wright wasn't the
smack.
only one coming out with some very serious allegations.
Looking for
Because
a
in
new
March
life,
2024, a journalist named Liz
new
Crokin
face.
would come out claiming that she had been in contact with Kathy in the weeks leading up to her death, whilst working for the major tabloid Star magazine. Pretty much exactly like Jackie Jasper had claimed only days after Kathy's passing in 2011, and that Kathy had first denied ever hanging out with Jay-Z. After the journalist confronted her with the photos from that night in Vegas, she would eventually imply that she was ready to go public with her relationship with Jay. And in her 2024 Substack article titled Jay-Z, Murder and the Mistress, the journalist would also claim that following Kathy's death, she would hear from sources that Kathy had told Jay she had planned to go public about their relationship, and that she had
Crazy. What's up with these?
still out here untouched.
Hike all the way to the waterfall, and if it looks good, then we're just gonna drop in and hike down the waterfall. It's on now, no turning back.
Ready to receive.
Okay, we are going. Good luck, guys.
Very happy, I don't have to claim. Oh, yeah.
Finally, it's happening, huh? We are in the ice.
You telling me out of all people that's been to Antarctica, they let the people of Red Bull do this? Money is a trip.
How's that? I'm gonna go a couple meters and see how it is. Yeah. I think it's not gonna be pleasant, but it'll work. I'm pretty sure nobody has done that before. The trip of many firsts.
Yeah.
All right. Back in the ice. Yep. Only myself, Alish, and Philip will be going, so we can move faster. I can help you out with the ladder. This ladder is heavy. Yeah. Thank you. Then one done. One done. Many more to go.
And I feel it taking a long time. All this crack in the ice.
I think maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. If they do 8 kilometers like that on 4 or 5 hours, then they are fast. Now they were moving 10 meters. How many do I have?
I help you. He's dancing.
Yeah. Nice expedition just to get to the waterfall. Ew, interesting. This is the first big river that we have to cross. Phil is walking up. Looks like there's a good spot there. It takes time. Many rivers to cross. We've probably crossed over 30 by now, so probably as good as it gets, I think. All right.
That water gonna be freezing cold.
Step by step, eh?
At least we didn't bring it for nothing. Yeah, buddy. Like you see, this is not too big, and it still took us some time. So okay, let's roll it. Yeah. From there. Yeah. I'll jump into the shallow part.
Good morning.
Way too shallow. Jump in the middle, better. All right. Yeah. It's not over. I hate this ladder. It's a pain in the ass for you. Oh man, if we end up making it, I think we'll have to name this waterfall Philip's Ladder.
Daniel is struggling a little bit.
Oh, I fucked up. Just keep smashing.
Philip, Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron, go ahead.
What is your ETA onto the front, you think?
We are, I think, about a couple hundred meters away from the river, but quite high up. Stand by, I will have a chat with Anjol and Aleix quickly.
Copy that.
Well, I can check it right now. Scouting for lazies. We're not sure what river are we supposed to drop in. It's a mess of 1,000 rivers. Therefore, we're gonna have a quick scout and make sure we're on the right one. We need to make sure we get the right river here. There is a huge maze, and we don't want to end up going the wrong direction and off the wrong part of the cliff. Yeah, I think the boat is that thing.
But this must be it. One of them.
It's gotta be it. It's like too much. Yeah, that's a boat, so... Yeah, this is the big river.
Yeah.
Okay, all this way just to do the big river. That's it.
make it like a prison. Imagine if they could do this at the U.S.-Mexico border. I know it sounds crazy because we all know they could. They could do it here in the middle of the Chicago. We're not anywhere near where the convention is happening. We're nowhere near. Why do you keep backing up? There's Versace over there. Yves Saint Laurent over here. There's Hermes right there. There's Christian Dior right there.
Look how fast they could do it, though. You got to show your ID. They're building fences. They're closing down the entire city. And they're doing it literally in less than a day. Literally less than a day or two. Isn't it crazy?
Look what they're doing. Why here? Why are they doing that? Oh look, it's like you're walking out of a prison. This is really happening. This is really happening here. This is Veronica Beard. This is really like we're inside of a prison. This is really happening. They're fencing in the whole Chicago. I don't understand what they're doing. So I'm pretty sure this is the Ritz-Carlton, right? I'm pretty sure this is the Ritz-Carlton.
Is it the Ritz-Carlton or is it the Wisteria?
Oh, this is the Bubba Astoria?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. And so
tomorrow I'll be locked in.
So, well, this is really what they're doing in Chicago. We are nowhere fucking near.
How far do you think we are from the convention center?
Well, you know what? Let me ask Waze. How far is it?
He uses Waze
to
instead of Apple
the United Center?
Or even Google Maps.
We are 3 miles away. 3 miles.
Better lock down.
3 miles away from the United Center.
Time to lock in.
What you mean by that?
So they're just gonna fence in everything. Look over here. Show over here.
Oh, this looks like. Is this gonna be locked down?
I guess so.
What you asked
Wow.
dude.
Closing down the entire... and it's 3 miles away, which is pretty far, guys. Pretty far. Now, I got an update here from X. Let's take a look at what Joe Biden is preparing. Let's take a look here.
Her testing, mic test 1, 2, 3 from Dr. Biden will be for her to make some remarks. And as we understand it, she wants to speak most directly to those Democrats who did remain loyal to her husband. We remember that handwritten note that she posted. So her testing, mic.
Is Joe? Do you guys think Joe Biden knows where he's at?
Test 1, 2, 3 from Dr. Biden.
You guys think he knows where he's at? All right. Well, I got one more clip to show you guys out of the madness that is happening at the DNC. Thank you so much for your donations. If you guys haven't smashed the like button, smash the like button. Yeah, day one, night one, but it tells you where and what is happening. Let's take a look at this.
You guys, I don't know. They say that's in Chicago. What are they preparing for? That's my question. Like, what are they preparing for? To me, it looks like they're just trying to... I really don't know what it looks like, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Not gonna lie. At first, I was thinking like that might be a good thing for people who just run into the street or cars, hit people on the sidewalk, things like that. But it's way more to that. It's crazy.
Like a prison.
Pentagon, where the Department of Defense is holding a briefing. Let's listen.
Signal to Iran that if they launch a major attack on Israel and or its proxies, the U.S. military will attack Iran. Don't you need to send a clear signal about what Iran, if they do it, if they cross it, you will attack them?
I think we are sending an extremely clear signal, which is that we are going to support the defense of Israel
as evidenced by the capabilities that, one, we already retain in the region, and two, the additional capabilities that were flowing into the CENTCOM and EUCOM AOR.
Real quick on Lincoln. The Secretary has ordered Lincoln to the Middle East twice now in the past, in over 10 days. The first time was 2 days after the Hamas leader was killed outside in Tehran. The second time was on Sunday, as you mentioned. Where was the sense of urgency for Lincoln to get to the Middle East? Lincoln was just doing an exercise with the Italian Navy on Friday. If it was so urgent for Lincoln to get to the Middle East, why did you need the second set of orders?
Well, Lucas, as a former naval officer yourself, you understand the complexities and intricacies associated with managements of large fleets around the world. And the bottom line is, again, as evidenced by the capabilities that we are surging into the region, we will have a variety of capacity and capability to respond to various contingencies. Again, the focus is on de-escalating the situation, protecting our forces, and supporting the defense of Israel. We'll continue. And this is not a Lucas Tomlinson press conference, so I'm going to go over to Idris.
If you do this, launch this major attack, the U.S. military will strike back. Why can't you just clearly say that?
I think we've been very clear that we're going to support the defense of Israel, and I'm not going to speculate about potential future attacks by Iran. Idris.
Just a request first. I think Tasking Purpose had an interview with General Vowell, OIR commander. If it would be possible to get him in the briefing room, or maybe General Kurla, to sort of talk about.
I hate how these people go up here and never answer the questions that we really want and need to hear. It's so annoying. Like, for real.
Force posture adjustment, I think that'd be
We've got to get the T-walls set up, though, first before we can do that. So, yeah.
Just on the Lincoln, though, was there a written order given to the crew of the Lincoln regarding the latest ordering or accelerating?
Look, I'm not going to get into the specifics of how the Department of Defense transmit orders to its units. The bottom line is the Secretary has ordered the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group to accelerate its deployment to the CENTCOM AOR, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
I think what we're confused about is, what does that mean? Because if you give an order saying going somewhere, presumably they're going as fast as they can. And what it sounds like is maybe this was more public messaging than an actual legitimate military order.
It's a legitimate military order, and it's accelerating on its mission to get to the CENTCOM AOR. And again, I'm not going to get into the in-between of when the initial order was given and what they may or may not have been doing in between then, other than to say, again, I think you need to take a step back and look at what we're attempting to do here, which is to de-escalate tensions in the region, ensure that our commanders that are in the region have the capabilities and capacity to respond to a variety of threats.
It is now going to arrive in CENTCOM earlier than it was previously.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics of the deployment.
You need to get into
timelines.
it. You need to get into it.
It's not confusing to me. It's accelerating. So, yes, sir.
Thank you, General. Would it be a fair assessment to say that Israel cannot defend itself on its own, and that's why they need the U.S. military support in the region against Iran and its proxies?
Well, the U.S. and Israel have shared a long-standing security relationship, and we've been very clear, even before October 7, on the U.S. support for Israel, supporting its qualitative military edge, but also post-October 7 have been very, very clear in terms of our ironclad support for the defense of Israel. And so, as you saw on April 13, when Iran conducted its unprecedented attack, the United States, true to its word, supported the defense of Israel.
Just one more. So is this a just-in-case situation, or is this military support indispensable? Because you've got the F-35s, F-22s, F-18s, 16s, 15s, the warships, the air defense systems, the troops, everything, like, the whole 9 yards. Is this just in case or indispensable?
Well, again, I'd go back to what I said at the top. And I think it's important not to look at the individual parts, but look at what it is that we're trying to do here, which is deter a wider regional conflict, prevent a regional war in a very tense Middle East, with Iran threatening to retaliate and to use potentially overwhelming force. And we, again, have been very clear in our commitment to aid in the defense of Israel. No one wants to see
escalation. No one wants to see a wider regional conflict. So, hopefully we don't find ourselves in a situation of having to employ those capabilities. But if we need to, in the defense of Israel, we will. And so just leave it there. Charlie.
Yes, whatever term we want to use in terms of accelerating, it's still going to take a while, 7 to 10 days. I know you want to talk about timelines, but perhaps more urgently, and something that's already in the neighborhood, is the submarine. The fact that it was announced, what does it bring to this fight?
It's a nuclear-powered guided missile submarine. Provides, again, additional capabilities to the commanders, the U.S. commanders in the region, in terms of not only supporting the defense of Israel, but also protecting our forces. And again, the message here is deterring potential aggression. It's not unprecedented that we will highlight the movement of submarines. But again, it's important to look at this in the context of the broader U.S. military force posture in the region, which is to help protect our forces, support the defense of Israel, and again, deter aggression and aim to de-escalate the situation.
Capable of carrying as many as 175 Tomahawk cruise missiles?
Look, the United States military is the most powerful in the world. We have these capabilities, and again, I'm not going to belabor the point, but the goal here is to de-escalate the situation and ensure that we can support the defense of Israel should we need to do that. Janie.
Thank you, General. Two questions. On the establishment of the strategic command, does the Pentagon support the completion of the establishment of the South Korean military strategic command? And I have another. And can we expect the establishment of the U.S. ROK, integrated strategic command?
Certainly that's a decision for the Republic of Korea to make, to determine whether or not they stand up a strategic command. As it relates to that new organization, as I understand it, it will primarily interact with U.S. Forces Korea, which is how the U.S. military interacts with the Republic of Korea. But as you know, we are close allies, and we will continue to work together very closely when it comes to the defense of the peninsula and broader regional security and stability throughout the Indo-Pacific.
One more. North Korea attended Russia's advanced weapons exhibition, and Iran and China also are participating in this exhibition. What are your concerns about the expansion of arms cooperation between North Korea and Russia, and the cooperation between Iran and China with Russia?
Well, look, I'm not going to comment on the weapons expo per se, but we, again, closely monitor these relationships and do have concerns, particularly as it relates to Russia, as it seeks to procure arms and munitions from these countries to support its war against Ukraine. So it's something that we're going to continue to keep a close eye on. Yes, sir.
Thank you, General. Two questions on Syria. There were reports about a drone attack on the Iranian-backed groups in Syria, which a war monitor reported that 5 members of this pro-Iranian militia killed in Deir al-Sur this Sunday. Were the U.S. engaged in this?
I don't have anything on that.
On the same issue, I'm sure you're following the conflicts between Syrian Democratic Forces and the Iranian-backed groups in Syria. So what's the Pentagon position on this? What's your comment on that? And does the U.S. gives any support to the Syrian Democratic Forces in their fight against the Iranian-backed groups in Syria?
Look, the U.S. forces that are in Syria, and our focus in Syria is on the enduring defeat of ISIS, and that will continue to remain our focus. As you know, the SDF have been good partners in that fight, essential partners in that fight, and that continues to be the basis for our relationship and our cooperation with the SDF.
Their fight with the Iranian-backed groups in Syria, they derailed their focus on the ISIS mission. So do you concern when the Syrian regime forces and also the Iranian-backed forces are fighting with your partners, this will affect your mission in Syria?
Well, look, I mean, Syria, given the fact that much of it is essentially considered ungoverned space, for many years now, which is what has enabled groups like ISIS to foment, continues to be a challenge. But the U.S. presence in Syria and our focus in Syria is on the enduring defeat of ISIS, and so that will continue to remain our focus. Let me go back to Joe.
Thank you, General Ryder. When you say we're moving assets to the region to defend Israel, could you explain to us that using the term defend Israel, does it mean like the mission or the U.S. role in the region would be intercepting the incoming missiles or maybe taking offensive actions? Could you emphasize on that?
Yeah, look,
we have been listening to Department of Defense Press Secretary Major General Pat Ryder speak to reporters at the Pentagon. He said
has been a recall on Purdue chicken products, and they are common ones that kids eat, so stay tuned to see which ones they are, so you should protect yourselves and your children. Purdue Foods has recalled frozen ready-to-eat chicken breast nuggets and tender products due to possible foreign matter contamination. Purdue Foods is recalling its frozen ready-to-eat chicken breast nuggets and tender products that may be contaminated with foreign material, specifically metal, and these are all the states that it affects and is the whole U.S. These are a list of the different products that have been possibly contaminated with metal. So if you have any of these in your fridge or freezer, make sure you should throw them away. And the problem was discovered after the firm received consumer complaints about metal wire embedded in the product and notified FSIS of the issue. They are concerned that some people may have these products in their freezers, so consumers who have purchased these products are urged not to consume them, and these products should be thrown away or returned to the place of purchase. So if you have any of these Purdue products or something that you're just not feeling right about, just throw it away or take it back to the grocery store with your receipt and you can get a refund for your purchase.
Why do they want to kill us so bad? Putting all these toxics in our food and our drinks. What do we do to y'all? For real, like, what we do to y'all? We can't just live happily and eat good, non-toxic foods. Damn.
Press button to see what global warming will do in the next 3 years.
3 years is a long ways away.
Oh my God, a perfect storm.
Just take a look at how perfectly formed this storm is. I mean, it's symmetrical.
I won't lie to you. It's the most powerful storm I've ever seen.
One of the strongest hurricanes that I've ever tracked.
A state of emergency. That's the declaration from the governor of New York as the state is inundated by constant rain that's led to flash floods and warnings in some areas.
Chaos in the New York City subway system as heavy rain pounds the nation's largest city. These guys are actually using umbrellas in the subway. And it's not just the subways. This is what parts of LaGuardia Airport look like.
Oh my goodness.
This was the chaotic scene on the streets. Cars warily driving through the floods.
Yo, Michael almost came out.
Identify politically. Whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or none of the above, this is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right.
Wait a minute.
Yo, Michael almost came out.
Identify politically. Whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or none of the above, this is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right.
Like a lizard. She look like a creature.
Yo, Michael almost came out.
Identify politically.
You're telling me she don't look like a creature?
Whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or none of the
I'm trying to stop it with the... She look like a creature.
Is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right.
A couple times. Even after one time.
Yo, Michael almost came out.
Watch her.
Politically. Whether you're Democrat,
The middle of her
Republican,
face.
Independent,
She
or
look like
none
a
of the
creature.
above, this is our time to
This?
stand up for what we know in our hearts is
She's a
right.
man. That's a man.
On the morning of May 14, 1988, Amaury Riviera, a young man from Puerto Rico, photographed a giant disc, followed and circled by 2 jet interceptors. What makes the sensational pictures even more interesting is Rivera's claim that he had contact with the occupants of this UFO.
Hello, my name is Amaury Rivera. I live in Puerto Rico, and back in 1988, I was working in a nightclub, and there was a musical group there. One of my cousins wanted me to photograph the musical group, and she loaned me a camera with some film. On my way back home, I encountered two small beings, two small strange men, which I didn't think were men from outer space. And
this is the footage.
They took me somewhere where there were other people besides myself, other human people, like from Puerto Rico, I guess. From here, another human being showed up. He claimed to be from a distant planet. He was dressed in black. He had a dark skin, but he was not a Negro. He had a long black hair up to the shoulders, and he spoke to us with the mouth, verbally, and no telepathic speaking. He showed us various projections, which looked very real, the projections, and he informed us about a whole bunch of things that are even still incredible to me. Then they returned me to...
What did this holographic projection show?
The holographs were mainly, the first one that I can remember was like a short trip through space. We saw where he came from, where he said to be from. We saw his people, we saw the houses that they used. And the second one was about a meteor or rock falling to Earth in the near future, which is going to cause a lot of havoc in the world. This would fall, it's going to fall in very near the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, and those other small islands. But it's going to affect the whole world, not just Puerto Rico. The last one is that they projected was showing us how there was only going to be one government on the planet Earth. They'll be living on some sort of artificial island that's going to be floating in the middle of a dark, black, dirty sea. And then this man returned me to my car again, and left me somewhere different from where the whole ordeal had started. Apparently, they took me with car and all. After this, at this given time, I heard some jets in the sky, and I still had my cousin's camera, and I took the pictures, 4 of which I'm making public nowadays.
So the jets followed the UFO?
Yes, it was. They seemed to be surveilling it. I only got to capture just one of the jets in the photograph, but there were 3 of them. Or maybe I got in one of the photos one, and in the second or third I got one of the other ones, because they would go around it very far away, and while this one was closer, and turn, very far, very far. And by the time this one was coming back, another one was turning over there. There was always one or the other close to the object, to the UFO.
Jürgen Martin has carefully investigated this case.
Rivera's case is, to me, is a very special one and a very important one, because in Amaury's case, he was abducted and he was taken away by aliens. One of them was human-like, and 2 small creatures that they explained to him were some type of genetical or biological organic android that they made to do some chores outside so they don't have to risk themselves in our environment. That's what they explained to him, the so-called human alien that he saw in the craft.
Okay, so here's the story that my granny used to tell me and my sister when we was little about the dark color man that created white people. This is allegedly, all this is allegedly. This is like an Islamic, Islamic folklore, or I don't know if I should say black Islamic folklore. I'm gonna say black Islamic folklore, but this is like a word of mouth type of story. So my granny told us, and me and my sister was talking about it randomly a while ago, so I'm gonna tell y'all. So 1,000 years ago, Thousands of years ago, extraterrestrials settled upon Earth because there was an evil that invaded their planet. So they came over to Earth and they moved into the center of the Earth, and they allowed humans to occupy the surface of the Earth. So there's a tribe called the Chinook. I'm probably butchering the name. I'm more than likely am. But this tribe is the main tribe of extraterrestrials that settle into the center of the land, okay? These are dark-colored beings with really big heads. They're really, really smart, and they're between 5 and 7 feet tall. Occasionally, they come to Earth's surface to communicate with humans, and they trade with them in exchange for their teachings because, like I said, they're really, really smart. But due to their strict laws, they only interact with certain types of people on the surface, because whenever they would interact with people, people will mistake them for deities or prophets or seers. So they got these strict laws that they only interact with certain people. These people are African people that they interact with, and they're said to be people of Ethiopia, the Afar people, and the Somali people. So the king of the Chinook, King Fuquard, I cannot remember the name, but King Fuquard, he has a daughter named Radia and 2 brothers. One of his brothers is named Emo, and the other brother is named Mushak. So Mushak, he is jealous of the king, and he ends up going to the surface and falling in love with a human woman. So after so long, he ends up getting exiled to land, and then because he's exiled, of course he can never come back home, but he basically gets damned to die on land, and he cannot come back to his home. Because you get exiled to surface, you have to die. So apparently, like, these beings, they just live until the end, I would assume. There is another tribe in the center of the earth called the Seeing. The Seeing, they are mixed. They're brown to yellow colored. They are hairless, and they got like long hair, like cone heads, and they are also from 5 to 7 feet tall, and they're also highly intelligent. They interact with the surface people as well, but they interact with people from Central America, Congo, and Peru. So the chief of this tribe is Chief Manza. The chief has a daughter named Luciana, has a son named Prince Afit. So there's also a third tribe. There's a third tribe that are, I would say, descendants of the Seeing. They are fat, white complected beings, and they have elephant noses, and they're really, really evil, and they are actually the reason that the extraterrestrials left and came to the center of the earth, because they drove them off of their planet due to all the evil and the mischief that they was causing on their planet. But the Seeing, they're responsible for the Sami. So one day the Sami, they just go around, they invade the Chinook land, and they stealing people food, terrorizing the people, doing all of that. So the king, he ends up finding out about it, and he goes and he confronts the chief of the Seeing, and he was like, you supposed to be the one that's keeping him in line, so what's going on? Because now it's beef. Like, how we gonna make this right? So basically they swap daughters, and the land is at peace during this time for a little bit amount of time. But Mansa's daughter, who is the chief of the Seeing, she did not like living amongst the Chinook. She didn't like that she was married to a Chinook man. She felt like she was an outcast in their land, and she just did not like following their rules. So what she did was she rebelled against the king. She ends up having an affair with his brother, and they take their affair to the surface of the earth where people live, where humans live, and they have their affair on earth. She ends up getting pregnant by the brother, and it's important for me to add that they go to the other brother that was jealous of the king that got exiled, they go and they live in his land because he had started a little life like out there. So they go and they had a little fur and this, that, and third. They missing for like a couple of years, and then of course the king's wife ends up getting pregnant by his brother. So she gives birth, have the baby on the surface of the earth, and they stay to raise the baby for about 5 years. And the baby ends up being this big-headed being named Yaqub. Yaqub's head was so big, it was like the size of 2 heads, and he had 2 brains, and he was really, really, really smart. So eventually, the king finds out about the affair, and he sends his people to, I keep wanting to say earth. He sends his people to the surface of the earth to kill the brother. So he kills the brother because, I mean, you don't win against the law. I mean, what you thought, what you expected. So he kills the brother, and he spares his wife's life because, come to find out, she done got pregnant and had a baby. But she is in so much distress that they done killed her lover and all of that, that she ends up unaliving herself, leaving baby Yaqub with his uncle. Because remember I told y'all they was staying with the uncle when they was on the surface level of earth or whatever. So now baby Yaqub, like he's really smart. Keep this in mind, he's really smart. So 4 years old, our time is not the same thing. He's really, really smart. He goes into so much distress because he like, I ain't got no mama, I ain't got no daddy. Like, y'all killed my mom and my daddy. So he develops a disdain for people who are darker colored. He do not like darker colored people because he feel like they are responsible for his mama and daddy death. So he do not like dark skinned people. Any people of color, he don't like people of color. Even though he's the president of color, he don't like people of color. So Yaqub ends up growing up with his uncle, and the exile uncle, the uncle that's exiled. He ends up growing up with his uncle, and his uncle just tells him stories about his mama people. Remember, mind you, his mama is the people who are of yellow and brown complexions with the cone heads, and they're really, really smart. And the daddy is the dark-skinned, big-headed extraterrestrial that's really, really smart as well. So he just develops a fascination for his mama's people, more specifically Samin. And he tells him about how the Samin are a manifestation of evil, basically. They're just evil, and they're responsible for driving them off of their planet onto planet Earth. And Yaqub, he just develops a fascination for all of this, and around age 6, he's playing with magnets, right? He's playing with some magnets, and he gets inspired by the attraction and repulsion of the magnets to create a tribe that is unlike any tribe to ever walk this earth. And I'm gonna finish telling y'all the second part in part 2.
That's crazy. I want to hear part 2. Y'all gonna have to go to her page and see part 2. I'm trying to tell you her app, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Here, I'll show it on the screen. If y'all want to go see part 2 of this story, I'm gonna show you her name on here. That's her name right there if y'all want to go check her page out. Thank you for the video.
Shows that the U.S. has lost 300,000 migrant children. Lost them. We know that they came across the border unaccompanied. These are only the ones that we've counted. We've got to think that it's inflated by more than that, but this is what we're counting. We know that there are almost 500,000 that have come across the border since 2019, and more than 300,000 of them are lost. Here's the report. I want to encourage you to seek it out for yourself. It's from the Department of Homeland Security, dated just this week. That means the real number that we cannot track is 323,000, which is 72% of the children that are crossing the southern border going lost or missing, most likely trafficked.
Yeah, these numbers are, I mean, look, J.J. Carroll, frequent guest of the show, would say these numbers, it's way worse than what you're seeing there.
Probably like in the millions, 2 millions for real. They never have the exact number because I don't know why. I just know it's way more.
And these no-shows, of course. And, of course, what's amazing to me is the follow-up. Oh, when you deliver these children, like, what's the follow-up procedure?
Oh, let's talk about that. Good question. And actually, my 72% is lower than the lost number that the report finds of itself. You can see here that they just went to one location and they found that 84% of those children were not given NTAs. So 72% would be super good. They're saying they're losing 84% of any given group of children. So what is the government currently doing about it? Well, they say they have a protocol, but they can't really follow it. They're supposed to check the address they have for a child, and that's really about it. They don't have to alert ICE or Immigration and Customs Enforcement. ICE says, well, yeah, we'd like to know that. Like, here's just a screenshot about their protocol. They're saying, according to ICE officials, they're not required to share this information when somebody doesn't show up for their hearing. HHS says that they were not made aware when UCs failed to show up in court, but that information, it says, would be helpful. Okay, would be helpful, but why? What are they going to do about it? Let's just hold on to that and what's going to happen. I mean, think of all the ways that they can track us, that they can track where we go, what we buy, what we say, our personal communication, but they can't find these children even though they know about them.
Preach.
Clearly, there are government employees like Tara Rodas who want to track the children. In fact, according to the report, some of these government employees are just trying to put it together with spit and glue. It says here that one field office, one attorney created a local workaround because there's no protocol by making their own spreadsheet. You guys, this is not how it's supposed to go. And in fact, the question is when they're saying, yeah, that would be helpful, but what would they do about it? Nothing. Look at this last highlighted piece. No, the last one. Can we put the last one back? It says, according to an ICE official, ICE does not have an automated process. No, this is not the one I wanted. I'm sorry. Yes, let's go back to the one you just wanted to put on. They can't do anything about it. The next screen, sorry. It says that if they are notified of something, they do nothing. ICE personnel at 2 field offices affirmed this and explained that they had identified UCs, unaccompanied minors, in unsafe conditions, but were unable to intervene. One officer expressed concern with not being able to take action in a case involving an unaccompanied minor whose sponsor claimed that the minor was in an inappropriate relationship with her husband, and they could do nothing. So basically this woman is saying, my husband is abusing this child. And they did nothing about it. Like, oh, okay, but at least we know where it is, right? I guess. Is that better? So that child was not in the lost numbers. We know where they were. They were busy being abused by their host.
Right. Sick people.
We know that. We did nothing. So what does this report say that we should do? Basically track them, make better internal protocol communications. Look at their 2 recommendations. Evaluate the manual process.
Maybe fire some people and hire better people. Get rid of a terrible system that obviously isn't working and doing their job correctly. Protect your kids. This is all that's telling you. Protect your kids. Don't let strangers watch your kids. Don't let strangers do anything to your kids, with your kids. Don't trust people. There's sick-minded people out there, as you can tell, that are in high places, very high places. They know exactly where those kids are. They're not gonna give that information out. We have made it to the end of this video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. We got plenty of more videos coming to YouTube, so be prepared because I'm coming with them. Some crazy stuff we watched today. That last video really messed with my head because I hate things like that. I hate people messing with kids. It's very sick. It's very sick. Very sick. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's just crazy. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.